Hello, third grade. For this project, we're going to be like a pro and we're going to prepare our work surface and hands. We're going to clean our tables and hands, or you might get super bummed about your beautiful fabric getting dirty. So I was working on a filthy surface here, so that's why I'm teaching you to prepare like a professional. We're going to prepare our art for display, and that's a big part of being an artist. So I trimmed any long threads from the back. I'm kind of mentally preparing to set this art that I made on fabric onto what is called foam core. And this is adhesive foam core, so this is a big deal. This is fancy, real professional art stuff. And you need to be patient, and you get one shot to use it correctly because there's only one piece per student. I had to work for a long time to find a way to peel the sticker backing off. This is like human fly trap style stickiness. Do not touch the stickiness. You can touch the edges of the foam if you're carrying it or moving it, but do not touch the stickiness at all. It's not funny. If you get stuck to it, it ruins it. Then you can't mount your art. So I am just mentally preparing to try and drop my art centered onto the small square. And I even thought about folding it in half to maybe set it on. And then I decided not to do that. And instead I'm using my fingertips to guide my art onto the center. So under my fabric, my fingertips are feeling where the square is, and then I lightly let it fall. I am not pressing it on quite yet. I wanted to see where it set down and then make sure I didn't want to scoot it. So right now the fabric is barely touching it in case I want to try and scoot, but now that I'm making some pressing, it's going to be permanent. So now I'm slowly pulling the fabric back to kind of give it a little bit of a stretch over the foam core. So I'm pulling on each side and kind of seeing how I'm going to wrap those edges around. My clean hands, hopefully clean hands, are smoothing the fabric over the sticky part, and the flat parts should lie very, very flat, and the parts with thread on them will lay a little bit less flat, but will be nicely pushed down. So on the back, you're going to use 4 pieces of finger length tape. Here I've ripped one piece about the length of a finger, and I'm taping down the flap between the fabric and the board. A second finger length piece tapes down the second flap, and then I fold over the third piece and do the same, and then the last piece and do the same. We want to use as little tape as possible, but there are a few more small spots I wanted to tack down with a small piece of tape. So we're being conservative. We're not putting a mountain of tape on the back, just a few to keep things nice and neat and flat. So this is when I discovered that my surface was filthy and now my art is dirty, but that's okay. So on the back with a ballpoint pen, I want you to write your name in an artistic but legible way so we can see your name nice and cute. You are responsible for taking care of your hoop, putting it back together, tightening it back a little bit, and stowing it in the brown bag. And now this is a fun part. We're going to upload your art to the internet so your families can get an email about it and see it right now. To get into the iPad, push the code, which is 123456, find the Artsonia app, which looks like a white paint splatter, and then go to Students. We need to tell it what school we are uploading to. And I have this paper that has the code. I'll also write this code around the room. You can type in the code, or you can try to scan the QR code. Right now, I'm going to try and type in those letters, ZJXD-PKMS. And then I press enter, and we'll see if it works. It's kind of frozen. It's not working. Sometimes Artsonia does this. So my fix is to exit out of Artsonia. I'm double pressing the home button to make it small and closing it out with an upward swoop. Now I'm going to reopen Artsonia and try again. Ooh, this time it is letting me scan the QR code. Much easier. All right. Yes, Grout Elementary School checkmark. So it's ready to find your name. Type your name in. If you begin to type, it will show you some options and you'll probably find yourself. When you tap on your name, you'll see all of your art in your digital portfolio. Press Add Art because we want to add your art. The name of the project was Embroidery Landscape, and now it's ready for a picture. I'm going to scooch my art into the center and try and make it as big and flat and in focus as I can before I take a picture. By scooting the iPad further away, the art gets smaller, but by scooting the art closer to the iPad, it gets a little bit bigger. To get a nice in focus shot, keeping your art close is a great idea. But I know at a certain point it might be out of focus, so I'm doing it just as close as possible. I tap my art to make sure it's focused, and then I hit the white button at the bottom. The picture was taken. Now I'm going to crop. Cropping means that you're going to select only the part of the picture that you want to show in your gallery. So I'm moving those corners in to make sure that I'm not getting too much art room and mostly just getting my beautiful art. Press Next. So now it wants to know if I want to make any other changes. There's things like blurring a name or sharpening a part of your image. We don't have to do that. So instead I'll press Next, and it wants to know if I want to give it a title. You can type in a title that is appropriate for your artwork. Be imaginative. What is this place that you made in your embroidery? So now I want to do an artist statement. You can talk about what you like about it or what you would change next time you did it. Or you can just say, I now know what organic shapes means. We used blob-like shapes in this art. I pressed a microphone so I could just talk, and then I pressed the keyboard symbol so I could end the sentence. When you're ready to submit your art, it is now in your gallery, and I will just go approve it so that it can display on your portfolio. I went back and now I see it's in my little digital gallery that my friends and family can see. If you want to log out and let the next student go, now it's ready.